guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and tonight was Monday Night Raw. Honestly, I'm going to say it right now, good episode of Raw, and I thought this episode of Raw flowed very well to where it didn't feel like a 3-hour show. Like, this show went smoothly by. I wouldn't say it like zoomed by or anything, but it didn't feel real long. It was a very, very easy show to watch. We built stuff up for War Games. We built stuff up for Survivor Series on both ends. We had stuff with the women's War Games. We had stuff with the men's War Games. We got Randy Orton coming back, which I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Before we even recap the show, I'm going to kick it off with some Randy Orton stuff that I want to talk about. But a lot of good things I felt happened on this Raw. We got stuff built for next week's Raw. We got a big tag team turmoil match to determine the next number one contenders for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. So I thought a good Raw, really good Raw overall, but Luke's right over this way. Luke, what'd you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw?
It was a good Raw, don't get me wrong, but I also feel like it was almost like a predictable Raw, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because, in the end, we'll get to there when we get to there, but, we all knew who the last member was going to be.
Yeah.
For the baby faces for War Games. So, and the whole tag team turmoil, there's already a number one contender for the tag titles. Am I wrong?
On the SmackDown side of things, but then they need a number one contender for the Raw side. So then once they do the tag title match next week on SmackDown, then you can go into that next Raw and do it. So, or no, it's Friday on SmackDown. No, so you're right and you're wrong. There is a number one contender, but that match is this Friday. So this turmoil match is actually happening after Judgment Day defend their titles on Friday. So all good, clean. Yeah. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, it doesn't just have to be your Amazon account that you link to your Twitch. It can be anybody's Amazon account, whether that's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your grandma, your grandpa, your auntie, your uncle, anybody. Also, remember, head over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and hit that join button to become a channel member. Also, remember, head over to the Epic Games Store, buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Go get Alan Wake 2. Pre-order Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, or maybe go download the for free Disney Speedstorm. They're starting their new season, Let It Go, the Frozen season, on December 30th. So jump in, do whatever you can in the Aladdin season now, and then get into Let It Go. Get into some Frozen on Speedstorm. We're getting Anna, we're getting Elsa, we're getting Kristoff, we're getting Olaf, we're getting Hans, and we're getting a brand new Ice Castle Arendelle track. So use the code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. So, first thing I want to talk about is actually the last thing that happened on the show. Luke, I want your opinion here first. What do you think of Randy Orton? Not just being the fifth man, but his first match back in 18 months being a War Games match.
So at first I was a little worried about it because I was like, man, his first match in 18 months is going to be in War Games. At first I was terrified about it. But if you think about it, he could be the last man going into the match.
Right.
And he doesn't have to do as much. Like they don't have to put him through a table and stuff and where he gets seriously injured. He can only do little stuff, maybe hit a few RKOs and then maybe take a few small bumps and that's it. So if they go about it the right way, then it's fine, really.
Yeah, like you're saying, they can keep Randy Orton very protected in this match. And I don't think they're going to, if they're even skeptical on Randy getting hurt again in a match, they're not going to put him in this kind of match. So I'm pretty sure they're pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? They're pretty
Confident.
confident. I was trying to like get it out, but not burp at the same time. They're pretty confident in Randy's ability to go in and do this match with the back. And for all we know, that surgery did him wonders, and maybe he's at 100%, and he's got no problems whatsoever. But here's what I want to get into. The realism of the Randy Orton announcement. So I put out a tweet. I'm going to read the tweet right here. I put out a tweet tonight after Raw, right at the end of Raw, and I said, quote, Cody confirmed Randy Orton will be on their team. I'm actually happy he did not appear, because I hate when they call somebody during a show and then all of a sudden they get there on time like they did with Becky on SmackDown. So my whole thing is, yes, they could have got the huge, mega, massive pop of Randy Orton coming out tonight, but A, they're going to save it for Saturday. B, this felt more realistic. Is there any way possible that in 3 hours, granted, actually it would have been only an hour because Cody apparently didn't even call Randy till an hour before the show ended. Is there any way possible Randy's getting from St. Louis, Missouri to Grand Rapids, Michigan before Raw ends? No, not a chance. You gotta book a flight, get to the airport, hope that your flight even leaves before Raw ends, get to the airport in Michigan. It's not realistic. And so I love, and it gets fine sometimes when WWE bends realism, like they did with Becky last week on SmackDown, where going into the final segment, because coming out of the first segment, Bianca's like, Charlotte, you know who you got to call. You know who you have to ask to be on our team. So your whole thought process is Becky's not in the building. Becky's not here. Becky hasn't even been asked to be on the Women's War Games team. Then coming into the main event segment on SmackDown, Bianca's like, so she accept? We got her? This, that. And Becky's like, or Charlotte's like, yeah, we're good. And then Becky does show up. It's like, okay, well, SmackDown was wherever they were. I don't know where. But Becky's got two homes. They got one in Davenport, Iowa. They got one in Los Angeles. Either way, she's not coming from either of those in less than 2 hours to get to SmackDown. That's unrealistic. You got to suspend your disbelief for that. So I loved that Randy wasn't on Raw because it makes everything feel more real that Cody actually did call him during the show, did ask him during the show, towards the end of the show. And it wasn't like, yeah, we're good. He'll be here. No, he won't be here because this fool ain't getting from god dang. And how long is it? St. Louis to Grand Rapids flight? A St. Louis to Grand Rapids flight itself. That's a cheap flight, but it's still a long flight. Actually, that's a really cheap flight. But it is a, how long is that flight? Wow, yeah. So a flight from Grand Rapids, Michigan, from St. Louis to Grand Rapids is a 4-hour and 50-minute flight with a 1 hour and 2-minute layover in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here. I'm happy Randy wasn't actually on the show because it made things feel more realistic. But what are your thoughts on the way they announced it, Randy not being there and Cody just giving all the hints, but never once saying Randy Orton?
I mean, I kind of agree with you on that one. Yeah, I do feel like it makes it more realistic. And like, I honestly, I didn't care like either way. Like, we all knew Randy was gonna be that fifth member anyway, so I was like, oh, it's either gonna be like tonight or Saturday. Like, it wouldn't surprise me like if it was gonna be tonight, but much bigger pop for Saturday, because that way you can like inform fans like, all right, the fifth member, so that makes fans even more like hyped up Now they're all like Randy,
Yeah.
Randy for Saturday. So
Like,
I agree.
Right, and then like they would have got a great pop. They would have got a great reaction for Randy tonight. No doubt about that. But and I'm trying to pull up the WrestleTix to see how many tickets have been distributed for Chicago and Survivor Series. That's SmackDown. I'm trying to see if they have Survivor Series on here recent. Raw tonight had 7,718 as of this morning. Raw had 7,718 tickets. 7,075 tickets distributed. It was set up for 7,718. Survivor Series is being set up for, trying to see if WrestleTix has anything. I'm not seeing it. I know Survivor Series is going to have probably over 10,000. And tonight they only had 7,000. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Survivor Series numbers here on WrestleTix. Not anything recent, at least. I just wanted to know how much it was actually set up for. Huh. Yeah, WrestleTix hasn't done a Survivor Series update in a while. That's interesting. But regardless, I think the pop is going to be way bigger in Chicago, way bigger on Saturday night, and it just makes things feel more realistic.
I'm also getting sick and tired of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, CM Punk's going to be a Survivor Series because it's in Chicago."
Well, that, and they think that the person Shinsuke is calling out is Punk.
Who do you think it is?
Shinsuke? I have no idea. For all we know, it's going to just be, I'm trying to think. Who is somebody we haven't seen on TV in a while? I honestly don't even know. I don't even know who it can be.
Maybe
and
it's someone from NXT.
I mean, maybe. But even that would kind of be a letdown.
Dragunov? That would be a
NXT champion.
That'd be an amazing match, though. Shinsuke versus versus Dragunov. That'd be an amazing match.
I mean, who is Shinsuke calling out? Braun Strowman? Haven't seen him in a while. Since May, June? That's the only person on the Raw roster that I see. Maybe it could be. If we look at NXT really fast, no one there really makes sense. Braun Breaker, maybe he has his call up. He does something with Nakamura. Yeah, I don't know who this Nakamura call
Carmelo
is.
Hayes.
That wouldn't be bad. That would actually be a really good match. But it's like,
someone said, "Where's Karrion Kross?" Well, Karrion Kross on SmackDown, and
SmackDown?
I think he was supposed to return like a week or two ago, but then they got scrapped.
I think he's doing something for a movie too. I know he was at one point supposed to do a movie. That. Yeah,
that's why he grew his hair out. It was for that movie, but then he said that movie got delayed, and it got even more delayed. I think because of the writer and acting strike.
Yeah. And that was all, that movie was set up before his return a year ago, so. But regardless,
yeah, I do remember he was supposed to.
Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember him saying something like when he was on the indies before returning to WWE, he was saying he was supposed to do a movie. That's why he grew his hair out and stuff, was for that movie. But then he said the movie got delayed even before his return. But then it even got more delayed, probably because of the actors and writing strike.
Yeah, I believe so too. So, because this says 2 weeks ago, Karrion Kross segment cut from SmackDown. Deshaun Rossap of Fightful previously reported that Kross was set to appear on Friday's show, which was taped on October 22nd or 27th. In an update, Sapp wrote that Kross was slated for a backstage segment, but WWE sources said that it would, quote, not have made sense for anyone involved. As a result, it was nixed, and the segment was never filmed. Sapp noted that the change was not relayed to everyone. The segment was still on the run sheet at 7 p.m. that night for the double tapings. However, WWE adjusted accordingly, and Yeah, there was no segment filmed. Well, I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, we saw Scarlett that week on NXT, but I don't know. He's stuck in limbo, I would say. But as far go for it.
Yeah. Well, when he first returned, he was someone I thought they were going to use like really well. And they like,
Yeah.
Triple H used him a lot at first, but then like they didn't really use him the way that they used him in NXT. Like that's the thing.
True. And maybe Triple H is just waiting for something. I don't know. Because we know Triple H really likes Karrion Kross.
He does. Like, well, Karrion Kross also said in a Chris Van Vliet interview that he was supposed to work with Bray Wyatt at one point.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. But as far as Raw does go, the show opened up with Drew McIntyre in the ring. The lights were dim, and there was a spotlight on him. McIntyre knew that people were upset about what he did last week, but the person who he was most upset with was him. He was being called a backstabber, but he hasn't changed. He hasn't lied. And if you've turned on him, that was fine because you were never a fan of his in the first place. He gave Jey Uso something Jey never gave him. He looked Jey right in the eyes before dropping him. McIntyre figured Jey would probably look for an apology, but he doesn't recall hearing Jey ever apologizing to him for screwing him out of the match with his family. Crowd then chanted, "You suck." McIntyre said that Cody Rhodes was collateral damage, but he was also responsible for Jey being on Raw in the first place. He said Rhodes attacking Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa on SmackDown, and people were probably telling him to get over it too. But there was no reason for them to get over the bloodline. Jey cost him the biggest match of all. McIntyre's family waited 16 years to see him win a championship or Clash at the Castle, and Jey and his family took that moment from him and his family. Not really. I mean, I get why Drew is upset with the whole I got screwed by the bloodline, but it was only Solo. Neither Uso was at Clash at the Castle. Only Solo attacked. So that's where I'm like, Jey really didn't do it. Jey didn't do it. McIntyre stated that he did not join the Judgment Day, though. That is something he wanted to be firmly known. I am not part of Judgment Day, but I'll be on their team in War Games. Rhea Ripley then provided him something no one else could. Jey Uso in a cage. Jey Uso enters. Jey said that there would be no more talking, and it was time for a beatdown. Yeet down, and then the crowd went, yeet. Jey was about to hit the ring, but Judgment Day would appear and stood on the apron. This then brought out Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes. Wade Barrett noted, "They're still down a man." Adam Pearce would suddenly appear and step between both teams before anything could happen. He warned them to not get into a fight, and if somebody threw a punch, that person would cost their team the advantage for War Games. Pearce then told Rollins' team that they need to pick a partner, and they need a fifth man by the end of the show. He also warned both teams that the War Games would be one-on-one, that the War Games advantage match would be one-on-one or else. He wanted to know who would be in the advantage match by 9 p.m. tonight so that they had time to promote it and this and that, blah, blah, blah. McIntyre then stepped up, got in Jey's face, and then left on his own. Judgment Day would then proceed to leave a moment later. So I thought this was a really good segment to open everything up. Basically, McIntyre's like, I'm not part of Judgment Day. Don't get that twisted. But I hate Jey Uso. I want to beat his ass in the cage. What'd you think of the opening segment here?
Well, like I still don't understand why Drew's still upset with like Jey, because like for one, I'm pretty sure the Usos they couldn't travel to the UK.
Well, Jimmy couldn't. Jey could. Well, no, maybe I don't know. They're able to now, I believe, because Jimmy was at Elimination Chamber in Canada.
So, yeah, I still don't know. I'm being completely honest, but I mean, the opening segment wasn't bad at all.
Right.
Yeah, I really like the opening segment.
We get more Judgment Day here next up. We go backstage. Judgment Day met Damian Priest told Rhea Ripley that he should have been consulted on McIntyre joining the team at Survivor Series. And Drew then walks up, and you got Damian, Drew, and Rhea. Man, did they make Rhea look so small in this shot, because you've got, like, see if I can do this with two hands. You've got Damian this tall, you've got Drew this tall, and Rhea was like down here, this short. It's like, damn, they made her look super small. These guys like towered over her, but regardless, she didn't even know that McIntyre was going to do all that until, well, it basically happened. They discussed it, and yes, they should have discussed it first. Priest thought that he should be in the advantage match, but Ripley said that, well, you may want to wait for that. McIntyre wants to do it. And so they decided, you know what, we'll let him do it. Let him go get beat up before War Games, and then you guys could be more fresh. So I thought this was an effective segment just to say, Drew is our partner. Drew is doing the advantage match.
And I also liked how like Drew acknowledged that like I'm not a part of Judgment Day. This is only like a one-time thing. And I still don't like Judgment Day. Like I like how Drew acknowledged that and gave like fans like closure of people thinking, oh, he might actually be in the Judgment Day.
So we get our first match of the night. It's Nia Jax versus Raquel Rodriguez. The match itself goes 8 minutes and 50 seconds. It was there. It was okay. Wasn't bad. Wasn't really good either. Raquel tackled Jax out of the ring and hit a crossbody off the apron, but Jax shoved her into the barricade and drove her spine first into the ring post ahead of a commercial break. Jax applied a rest hold, and Raquel hoisted her up momentarily, but then collapsed due to her injured back. Raquel fought back and tried getting Jax on her shoulders, but she collapsed yet again. Jax responded with a senton. Jax then went to the middle rope, but Rodriguez slipped under her for a powerbomb attempt. However, Rodriguez collapsed for a third time, and Jax hit an annihilate her for the pinfall victory. The crowd, they were into Raquel when she hit the powerbomb and stuff, but other than that, the crowd was kind of just like, this match is whatever. Thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was just there.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest. It was like one of those segments where like we need to add a spot in for the women, so let's just throw this match in there.
Well, we got 3 women's matches tonight, if you think about it, though. We had this match, we had Xia and Becky, and we had the women's 4-way tag team number 1 contenders match. So we got 3 women's matches on the show, plus the big women's brawl for War Games build up. So I thought they spread out the women's stuff pretty evenly throughout the show. Well, at least the first 2 hours. Speaking of Xia Li, we got a Xia Li video package hyping her up before her Becky Lynch match. Backstage, Priest was patiently waiting for McIntyre, but McIntyre finally did show up. McIntyre thought that it should be him, not Priest, as Rhea said earlier. McIntyre didn't like anyone in Judgment Day, but he despised Jey Uso even more. Priest didn't like McIntyre either and recalled McIntyre costing him the world title. They argued for a bit until Priest agreed to allow McIntyre to be in the match and do what he's got to do later tonight. Priest wanted McIntyre to show his worth. And McIntyre called it good leadership on Priest's part for letting him be in the advantage match. So, another solid little segment there to keep building up to the Judgment Day team. It's basically, I'm not part of Judgment Day, but we're all going to get along and work for the greater purpose, I guess you could say.
Who do you think actually like wins this match?
Got to be the baby faces with Randy Orton returning, right? Randy gets the pin.
I was thinking
Randy or Cody gets no. I don't know, because I could see Drew pinning Jay and then saying, I won, now give me a shot at the world title or something. There's plenty of options they can do to build stories coming out of this.
I was thinking maybe have the baby faces win, and the reason why is because I think the heel for the women's War Games are going to win.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of it like that.
Have the women's heel team win, and have
Mhm.
the men's babyface team win.
Right. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, that would make sense. I would just think the men win because Randy's returning, but no, I like that idea though.
Because I don't think they're gonna have like Kyrie lose in her first match back. I'm pretty sure this will be her first match back.
Honestly,
though.
what I can
Is it?
see, this is a tough one because I said this
Is
on my
it?
SmackDown review.
Is this gonna be Kyrie's first match back though? War Games? Or
No,
she already wrestled?
no, because they did that 6-woman tag.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, but my thing for the women's War Games match, what I predicted was they lose, Bailey gets pinned, the baby faces leave, and then Damage Control beats up Bailey in the cage, kicks her out of Damage Control for losing the match, and that's how we get this whole Bailey babyface turn. Bailey's out of Damage Control, Bailey whatever. That was my prediction, but I could see your thing on Kyrie's gonna win. Yeah, there's so many ways they can go. It's just very good. I think for a WWE pay-per-view, this is a very, at least in my opinion, not as predictable as other shows. Because, like, some of the matches are predictable. Like, I got the card pulled up right here. There's 5 matches so far announced. Gunther versus Miz. Gunther. Rhea versus Zoe. Do you think there is a chance Zoe wins? No?
No.
Carlito and Santos? That one can go either way.
I think Santos wins.
I think Santos has to win that one. Which, speaking of,
if you have him lose,
go for it.
Because I feel like if you have Santos lose that match, they're gonna make him look really weak whenever he fights Ray.
Which we're going to talk about later with Xia Li. And then we have the men's and women's War Games matches. Those 2 matches, I can see going either way in multiple different ways. I could see Cody getting the pin. I could see Seth getting the pin. I could see Randy getting the pin. I could see Damian Priest getting the pin. I can see Drew McIntyre getting the pin and winning that way. So there's a lot there. And then, of course, with the women, I think if the baby faces win, they pin Bailey. But like you said, I can see a deal where it's like, no, we got this new Damage Control. We're not breaking them up yet. They're going to be a strong unit, and they're going to win this match. So I like the unpredictableness of these War Games matches. Because like last year, it was like, oh, Bloodline ain't losing. It was too predictable that way. Bloodline's going to win. So, and then that turned into the babyface team's going to win for the women. So,
Do you want to be nuts?
what's up?
Let's say Judgment Day wins War Games, and like after the match, Damian Priest cashes in and successfully wins the world title.
I'd love it. I would love it. Seth gets his ass beat, and then he cashes it in. Oh my God, that'd actually be a first time ever thing, and also amazing at the same time. That would be fantastic. I actually like that idea a lot. So, men's War Games match. That's got to go on last, right? With Randy and stuff. Yeah, that's what I would think. That's got a main event. You build that anticipation the entire night. When are we seeing Orton? When are we seeing Orton? When are we seeing Orton? Main event time.
But I don't know if I see Judgment Day like winning because it's gonna be Randy's first match back. I highly doubt they're gonna have Randy lose.
Right now, if they're doing something to build up Seth's next challenger out of War Games, then the baby faces would lose. So do you think even in a loss, Damian could still cash in? And that'd make enough sense? Even if the baby faces win?
Well, even if they win, I mean, they're all gonna stand tall, and Damian will most likely be on his own when he stands up.
Right. So
because everyone else is gonna be like beaten down and tired.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, that's what I love about this show coming up on Saturday. It's so unpredictable with these 2 War Games matches. Speaking of War Games, there's a video package for the women's War Games match as War Pigs by Black Sabbath played. Michael Cole said that thanks to Ruffles, the fans can pick who gets the advantage in this match. So yeah, we get to go online and vote. Do you think it's the babyface team getting the advantage? Especially since the heels have the advantage the other way.
It's obvious.
Well,
it's pretty obvious.
I voted Damage Control. I voted Damage Control.
Do you feel like they might rig the voting though?
No, because in the past, whenever WWE's done fan voting, I've been told this before. It's always Not always, but 98 to 99% of the time, WWE does, like when they used to do the Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday matches back in
Cyber
the
Sunday
day.
was real.
Yeah,
Like that
those
was
were
100%
always
real.
legit.
Even the wrestlers even claimed that was real.
Yes.
They said like whenever they did the voting, we had to like figure out like how to sell the matches and stuff.
Yep, those were always 100% legit. In the back, Rollins, Zayn, Rhodes, and Jay all met. Rollins and Jay both wanted to be in the McIntyre match, the advantage match. Rollins says the new McIntyre, the best. But Jay fired up and goes, no, it should be me. He wants me, and I want him. So they all agreed, yeah, Jay, go get it, Oos. Go get it, Oos. For the fifth member, Zayn and Rollins each were like, yeah, I can't find nobody. Rhodes is like, I got an old friend. I got contact. I'll call him. I'm pretty sure he'll come through. Fans cheered because they knew who he was talking about once he said old friend. Then we get Becky Lynch versus Xia Li. This match took place 20 minutes after the last match ended. There was a 20-minute gap of just talking segments or commercials or video pack of non-wrestling, I'll say. They show the NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria in the front row. And here's my thing with this match. Lyra was there because Xia is challenging her tomorrow on NXT for the women's title. So why did Xia Li lose? That made no sense. If she is challenging for the NXT Women's Championship tomorrow, why is she losing tonight? I get it. Becky, they want her to look strong going into War Games, whatever. But I don't think Xia should have lost here. Like I said earlier when I said, Santos needs to win to keep him looking good going into the Rey feud. Well, Xia needed the win, looking strong going in up against Lyra, because it's like, okay, if we look at it here, Lyra beat Becky, but Xia couldn't beat Becky. So if Lyra is better than Becky, but Becky is better than Xia, then Xia shouldn't be better than Lyra. Just saying. Match itself was way better than I expected. I will say that. Match went 12 and a half minutes. Lynch had the early advantage until... Go for it.
Yeah, the match was good. And, the whole, Becky versus, Xia thing, I get what you're saying, but, someone had to look weak, though, because it was really, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think anybody in this match should have lost. By being completely honest, because you had to keep Becky looking strong for War Games,
right?
And you had to have Xia look strong against Lyra. But
my whole thing is if Becky would have lost, she still would have been fine going into War Games, because it's not like Becky's going into a championship match. Xia is going into a title match where you want the challenger to look like a viable challenger that can beat the champion. If the challenger can't even beat the person that the champion beat for the belt, then why should we even care that Xia is challenging? That's my whole thing.
Right, but does anyone really actually think that Zaya's gonna win and fans actually care?
No. No one cares about this match. No one cares about the NXT title match. As far as the match, though, here tonight, like I said, Lynch had the early advantage until Xia caught her with a kick on the apron ahead of a break. Cole let us know that Xia Li was dominating throughout the break, but Lynch fought back and hit an exploder for a 2. Lynch applied an armbar, but Lee countered into a cradle for a 2. Lee then followed this up with the airplane spin for a 2. Lynch responded later with a middle rope superplex. She got a 2 off of that one. Lee then hit Lynch with a knockout kick, and Lynch fell out of the ring. Lynch seemingly was loopy, but told the referee, I'm good to go. Lee tried to kick her again, but Lynch ducked and posted her. They both made it back into the ring at the 9 count. Lynch then hit a manhandle slam moments later for the pinfall victory. The crowd was really into Becky and popped when she picked up the win. So that's cool. Then we didn't see Lyra anymore. Xia disappeared, and out came Damage Control. Damage Control came out before they can get from the stairs to the ringside area. Shotzi, Charlotte, and Bianca attack them from behind. Everyone's brawling. Everyone's going crazy. They're trying to break it up. And yeah, we got the big brawl before War Games. It really should have probably happened on SmackDown, but it's probably going to also happen on SmackDown again. So they're really hyping up this women's War Games match as something that these 8 women all hate each other.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for this match. It does suck that it's not going to be like a 5-on-5 like the men, but
I think it's fine.
it's still fine.
Who jumps off the cage? Io or Kyrie or both?
Let's say Io.
We know Io will do it. Io's done it like what, 2-3 times now? I know she's done it at least twice.
I'd say go Io because she's already done like so much of it to where they feel confident.
Oh yeah,
that she won't like mess it up. So
I think
I'd go
Kyrie would
Io.
do a fine elbow. Well, we know Io, she'll do the moonsault. She did it once, and I know she's done it. She did it last year, and I'm pretty sure she did it in the NXT one that she was in. So,
right.
Ludwig Kaiser was backstage. He was annoyed with Giovanni Vinci, but Vinci said he just was trying to do what was best for Imperium. Kaiser told Vinci, "Okay, well, I'm taking on Johnny Gargano tonight. Stay in the back. Don't come out and mess things up." Are they breaking these two up? Who's getting kicked out of Imperium?
I hope nobody.
But remember, if it's got to be one of them, what was it, like 3-4 weeks ago? They aired a random video package hyping up Ludwig Kaiser as his own guy. Could that have been a tease of Ludwig's going singles? Going on his own? I don't want it to happen. But why do a solo video package for Ludwig Kaiser?
I don't think it's like hyping him up as like going on his own. I think it's more so trying to like promote more of his like singles matches because they've been using him a lot for like singles matches.
True. Also, since Saturday in the Twitch chat, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Jey Uso's reaction to Randy Orton getting announced because that was fantastic. We had Zoe Stark's video package. Zoe Stark. I always want to add the S for some reason. Probably because I'm used to my mind just go blank. My mind just went blank. I'm used to saying Ricky Starks in AEW, so then it's just Zoe Starks. We got a video package hyping her up as she's going to challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship at Survivor Series. We then had Johnny Gargano versus Ludwig Kaiser. The match itself went 11 minutes. Now, a third of this, where was it? No, Gargano did get beat down a little bit early on, but did finally fight back after a few minutes. He hit a slingshot spear, some strikes, a suicide dive, and a tornado flatliner for a 2. Kaiser did come back with some good-looking offense and a discus clothesline to get a 2 of his own. Kaiser then hit a Finley roll, but was distracted when, Giovanni Vinci would come out to ringside. The distraction allowed Gargano to hit the one final beat and pick up the win. So yeah, very weird, very interesting story they're trying to tell here. Now Vinci just won't listen the opposite way. Not don't get involved in my match or do good to help us. So first it was do the right thing to help Imperium. Now it's don't get involved. What is this guy supposed to do? He doesn't know. He's being told 2 different things by one guy. Match was fine, but there wasn't much to it. Even though this match went 11 minutes, it felt like a 5-minute match that was just there. Boom, 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 we're done. Thoughts?
I will say I'm glad that Johnny got the win tonight because he definitely just needed the win.
Yep. And I liked, I think it was Wade on commentary was like, well, we know that these 2 teams are probably going to meet in tag team action here sometime soon. We've seen the singles matches. So they're building up to that. We then get a crazy backstage segment, one of 2 that we get with tag teams. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven met with Adam Pearce backstage when they were interrupted by a series of different tag teams. First, Natalya and Tegan Nox. They want tag team title shot. Then Katana Chance and Caden Carter. They want a tag team title shot. Then Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, who both recently got knocked out by Xia Li, want a tag team title shot. Then he's like, you know what? All of you guys will be in a number 1 contenders match tonight for a tag team title. And then up comes Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile is like, what? You guys want a tag title shot too? Sure, it's a 4-way now. And they're like, Ivy's like, that's not what we wanted to. And Maxine's like, shush. Let's take it. No. So they get added 4-way for the women's tag team title opportunity tonight. Well, not tonight. The 4-ways tonight for an opportunity down the line. I just loved Maxine's whole shush right in Ivy's face. You're like, no. We might have a shot at championships. Shush your face. Like, I loved it. I thought that was great. Pierce was like, yeah, you're all fighting in a 4-way. And like the women disappear. But Chelsea and Piper are still there. And he looks around, he's like, what? And like they didn't really say anything or whatever. And Chelsea's like, ah. And she like storms off one way. Piper says something. She storms the other way. And all of a sudden you see Chelsea, bestie. And she's like, okay, and tries to catch her going the other way. This was really good. I thought they did a great job here. It was a little chaotic and like, what the hell? But in the end, for what it did, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, actually. Any thoughts on the segment?
Oh, yeah, it was a very entertaining segment.
Yeah.
It really was.
Rhea Ripley's with Dominic in the back, enter the locker room, and they were annoyed to see Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler sitting on their couch. Like, oh, well, you guys get a clubhouse and we don't. We just want to check out your clubhouse. Stark told Ripley she should win the title. Pay-per-view. Ripley said, no, you're going to get your ass beat, basically is what she said. I don't know what this segment was for. It was like a 2-minute, 3-minute segment at most that really did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. Like, we got the Zoe Stark video package earlier hyping her up. That's all we needed. We didn't need this goofy, hey, we're chilling in your clubhouse. No, we didn't need it. I didn't think it was needed.
It was probably just something extra that they were trying to do to hype up the match.
More tension between the two.
Sorry, she's not winning or anything, but it's just their way of just trying to hype it up more.
Right. Esports gaming rules, that's not even possible. So what do you think of AZM wanting Io Sky if she wins the New Japan Strong Women's Championship? What are you even talking about? First off, I haven't even heard that, so I don't know what you're talking about. And second, it's not even possible. Io Sky's in WWE. WWE ain't letting her work with a stardom woman. Get out of your goddamn mind. Speaking of that woman's 4-way, we got that match next. Match went 11 minutes and 47 seconds. Each team had matching gear, except for Dupree and Niall. I like that Tegan and Natty now have matching gear, too. I think they've had it for a couple of weeks now. Natty's been wearing this bright blue and pink gear for probably about 3-4 weeks now. But match itself was all right. Dupree hit a splash onto all... I'm going to say right now, Maxine Dupree, what the hell? Like, she was so much better in this match than I've ever seen her. She seems like she improves every single match she does. So I got to give her a round of applause. I got to give Maxine Dupree a round of applause because she's out here impressing me with as little as she's wrestled. You see that she implements 2-3 new moves every single time. And that just proves that she's learning, getting better, and advancing at her craft. So Dupree hit a splash onto all 6 women early on ahead of a break at one point when Ivy was... No, this is a different point. But yeah. This broke to all the heels getting the advantage before a commercial break. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter hit a nice double team move on Nox at one point after the break in Natalia, but everyone else kind of broke up the pin. Everyone traded moves until Natty put Katana in a sharpshooter. Niall broke it up with a bulldog. Dupree tagged in and hit Nox with consecutive body slams, a caterpillar into an elbow, and even like a suplex Northern Lights kind of deal with a bridge into the pin. I liked it. Got 2 off of it. Niall and Dupree then hit Nox with a double vertical suplex. Niall went to the top, but Natalia yanked her off the apron, or off the top to the floor. Dupree then tried a flying crossbody onto Nox in the ring. She got rolled up, cradled, and Tegan steals the victory. So there we go. Tegan Nox gets the win for her team. So Natty and Tegan will be challenging Piper and Chelsea for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. What do you think of the match and the upcoming title match now?
I mean, match was okay. I did like Maxine doing the... Was it the caterpillar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty predictable that Natty and Tegan were going to win because they've already had, like, tension with Chelsea and Piper. So,
True.
like, this was no surprise that they were going to win. So this is probably just trying to like wrap up their feud.
Right.
I don't know if Tegan and Natty will win. That I actually don't know.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I don't think they'll win either. So this is probably just something they're trying to do to wrap up their feud.
I will say though, the crowd was kind of quiet, but the one thing that got this crowd going at times was Maxine Dupree. So it's working. She is getting over with the fans. In the pack, Gunther, looking like the next Bond, approached Kaiser and Vinci. He was proud of Vinci. He wondered if he put the wrong person in charge. He told them, sort things out. I'm going to go deal with The Miz. Then we get a promo stating, tomorrow night on NXT, the NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria will be defending against, and I shit you not, the unstoppable Xia Li, who was stopped tonight by Becky Lynch. I shit you not, that aired on this program after the Xia Becky match. They said, tomorrow night on NXT, the NXT Women's Championship will be on the line when Lyra Valkyria defends against the unstoppable Xia Li. I shit you not, that was a thing they put on this show after this woman lost. God damn. Someone is not checking the continuity bank.
Yeah, that made no sense whatsoever.
I could see your face like, I don't even know what to say. It's so dumbfounded.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Like when was the last time Xia even had a win? Let me ask you that.
Well,
when was the last time she had a win?
Technically, she's been getting wins. She knocked out Candice, won that match. Knocked out Indy, won that match. So she's picked up a few wins recently. I don't have a problem with that. It's just she shouldn't have lost to Becky tonight. And then she loses to Becky, and they call her unstoppable. So it's like, yeah. Also, over the weekend, Lyra beat Xia at a house show with the title on the line. So it's like, whatever. But Xaya's been, well, kind of getting wins. So Xia beat Indy, referee's stoppage.
I mean, she's been kind of getting wins, but it's like, but not so much of them where you call her unstoppable.
Right. Because
really.
here's the thing. Was it last week? It was last week. Wait, hold on. What is this? It's tomorrow. Oh, okay. I just gave a spoiler by accident for tomorrow, even though we all know. Tomorrow's show's a pre-tape show, apparently. And so, spoiler alert, because I already said it anyways. Lyra beat Xia. It's already been filmed. Anyways, last week, she beat Indy. 2 weeks before that, she beat Candice, both on Raw. Then, I want to say a week before that, she beat Katana Chance on main event. Then, she went on before she got those 3 wins, on the main event, she was on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 match losing streak. Losing to Indy Hartwell, losing to Nikki Cross, losing to Tegan Knox, losing to Dana Brooke, losing to Natalya, Dana Brooke again, and Candice LeRae. She lost 7 matches in a row. Then she beat Katana Chance on main event. She technically beat Candice, referee's stoppage on Raw. Technically beat Indy, referee stoppage on Raw. So yeah, that's the unstoppable Xia Li. So there was some commotion going on backstage. And Adam Pearce walks up. Hey, what the hell's going on? And Xavier Woods is like, we saw what you did with the women. You're going to give them a bunch of opportunity. We want opportunities at tag titles. And Pearce is like, all right, cool. You got how many teams here? Looks around. Blah, blah, blah. All of you teams, all of you guys will get a shot next week. Tag Team Turmoil. The winners will then get a shot at the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. In this segment was The New Day, Indus Sher, DIY, Alpha Academy's no Chad Gable, Otis, and Tozawa, and the Creed brothers. So in the turmoil match, is it Otis and Gable or Otis and Tozawa? That's the question.
I assume it's Gable and Otis.
And then the segment ends. This was funny as shit. So Tozawa has a Lions, like a Detroit Lions championship belt. And he goes to lift it up. And like the strap kind of hits Woods or almost hits Xavier Woods. And you see Woods go, like looking around like, oh, you almost hit me with that. And then Tozawa just kind of like this, whatever. Adam Pearson walks off. He tells the stagehand, hey, I need you to get Nick Aldis on the phone. And then right on cue, there's Nick Aldis. And Pierce is like, what are you doing here? Regardless, come to my office. We need to speak. Well, there's tension between these two former NWA World Heavyweight Champions.
Bragging rights 2024 question mark?
I don't know, maybe. Also, esports says it was trending on Twitter. Trending how? Trending on your For You page or trending on the top 25? Because it wasn't trending on the top 25. I didn't see this at all. So I get what you're talking about because I know what you're talking about. I didn't see the call out or anything or whatnot, but it was not actually trending. There's a difference between, and hold on, watch. I'll pull up Twitter real fast. For anyone that doesn't get it, there's a difference, for the most part, in the two different types of trending. There's a difference in, we go to the homepage. Oh no. Oh, there's a difference in what's happening, and it says trending. Cool. That's kind of trending. That's trending based off of things that you normally search and look at and this and that, plus what a lot of people are talking about. But a lot of times that's, like if you even go here, you go For You. That's your For You trending based off things you like. That's not the actual trending. This is the actual trending. That's more of a curated for you, what you might like kind of trending. He says during the press conference. What? At 4 o'clock in the morning, my time? When I'm asleep? When most people? I doubt it. I doubt it was on the top 25 trending list. I highly doubt it. Or now, actually, it's top 30. Honestly, I've been on Twitter all day. Haven't seen a single person tweeting about it. A single person, but. So, just saying. I'm even going to search it up here. I literally see 1, 2. It's like 3 or 4 tweets about it. Handful of tweets, if that. But nothing sustainable, nothing of really any note. So, yeah, I don't think this was actually trending. Back to Raw. Going to the third hour. Yeah, Miz and Gunther. Miz complained about Gunther showing him the lack of respect that he's been getting. Gunther then wanted to make it clear. It wasn't a lack of respect. It was that I had no respect for you. A lack of respect means I have some respect, but this means I have no respect. The ring was for fighters, and the Miz was more of an entertainer. Miz thought of that as a positive, though, because things get done in and out of the ring. Miz said that he was just like the men he grew up watching. Randy Savage, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart. Miz worked hard for years so he could hold the title that his heroes held. He said we still remember them because they were one-note wonders. They weren't one-note wonders like Gunther is. Gunther laughed. Miz went on about adapting and changing his style over times. Miz says that we don't know much about Gunther because, well, he hasn't really been here long and he didn't have to start from the bottom. We'll only find out what Gunther is made of when he hits the bottom and he wonders if Gunther can climb that mountain to the top like he did. Miz threatens to beat respect into Gunther. Gunther said that he knew who he was facing at Survivor Series. Quote, Little Mike Mizanin. a little weirdo who got bullied in higь school because he idolized all those men he named. He finally became a WWE superstar, and his fellow superstars bullied him too because he did not belong in this sport. Gunther said that The Miz did not belong in his ring. He belonged on the other side of the barricade with all those other weirdos. Then the crowd started chanting USA. They're like, USA, USA. Gunther called the fans insecure like little Mike. Gunther told Miz, quote, I think you haven't been bullied enough. Gunther shoved Miz repeatedly and told him to defend himself. Miz then tried to fight back, but Gunther easily booted him. Gunther then grabbed Miz from behind and shoved the IC title belt in his face. Miz then gave him a low blow and a skull-crushing finale to end the segment. So, yeah, I liked it. There's no chance in hell Miz is winning. But, hey, Miz got the final shot in, so that's the way you're supposed to do it. If you want there to be even an inkling of maybe Miz does win this, you give Miz that final little at the end. What'd you think?
Yeah, I really like this segment. It was just a way to try to make Miz look strong because I know, like, at least to me, like, Miz most likely is not winning, but at least give like some fans maybe thinking like, oh, he might win. He could break that record.
And they brought that up tonight. They didn't bring it up last week. They brought it up tonight. Didn't say Jericho's name, but they said if Miz wins the Intercontinental Championship from Gunther, he will tie the record of most Intercontinental title reigns.
Well, obviously they couldn't really say Jericho's name, but
right.
I don't know. Do you think they actually like have him win so that way it's just their way of trying to like get rid of something from Jericho?
Not right now. I don't think Miz beats Gunther. No. Maybe in the future. I think Miz can get that record, yes, but not right now. Also, you got to think, how much longer does Miz actually have? Miz is in his early 40s. Granted, I say that and Jericho's in his early 50s. Jericho's like 50. Jericho is...
Miz, he's never like talked about retirement though.
Right.
He's 43 right now, so...
And Jericho's 53.
Yeah, so...
I doubt Miz goes another 10 years, but who knows?
I'd say at least like another like 3.
Yeah. I can see Miz tying so I can see Miz tying the record. I don't know if Miz beats the record though.
I mean, I think he'll at least tie it, but I mean, like, this is no disrespect to the Miz whatsoever, but I don't know if like Miz is someone that they really want like breaking the record though.
True. But also, like I've said before, I think Gunther's record of longest reigning, single reign, is more important to me at least than I've had it 8-9 times. I think having it this long once is more important because it's like, yeah, I was able to defend it against all these different guys. I didn't lose it 9 times. I won it once and kept it for, what has he had it for? Oh, well over a year.
Oh, yeah, it was like well over a year.
He's had it for...
Might be 2 years, though. I think he's going to hold the belt for 2 years.
Let's see. He's had it for... Gunther's held this title for 528 days. So let's see. Alexa, how many years is 528 days? 1 year, 5 months. He's coming up on a year and a half.
I think he holds the belt at least till like going into their Berlin show.
Yeah.
Have him hold the belt going into the Berlin show and have him face Ilya Dragunov.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
I know fans keep making those like creating those posters of him versus Dragunov at Bash of Berlin.
Right. We go to the back.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
is that what it's called? Bash of Berlin?
Yeah, Bash in Berlin. So we go to the back. Rollins approaches Jay and stressed the importance of having the advantage at War Games. Even though later on at the end of the show, Cody's like, I'm glad we don't have the advantage. But here's my question to you about this advantage. So if you have, there's actually, if you think about it, there's actually two advantages here. One to start the match, and one to start the match beyond. Because Judgment Day will have the man advantage. Judgment Day will have it to where at one point it's 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 5-on-4. But the babyface team is going to have that advantage of once the match officially starts, their final man in is going to be super fresh and the most rested of all. So what advantage do you like more? The man advantage for the start or the super healthy, I haven't got my ass beat yet to start the match beyond? Having one guy fresh,
last guy going.
Yeah, having one guy fresh or having, being able to beat up a bunch of people but having to go in all before the match. So I like, for the most part, I think having the fresh guy is better, in my opinion.
Right.
So Rollins told him to beat McIntyre and come back in one piece. Jay was upbeat and confident about all this. Rollins was serious and nodded at Jay like, you got this, Oos? He's like, yeah, I got this, Oos. Jay then seemed taken aback by Rollins' serious demeanor, though. Like, Rollins was way too serious for what he wanted. This then led to another long match. A lot of longer matches tonight. We didn't get, I think maybe, if I'm looking here, the shortest match we had was what? 9 minutes? Everything got time, which I really appreciated here tonight. Let me see. Okay, the Nia, almost 9 minutes. So the Nia Raquel match went 8 minutes and 51 seconds. That was the shortest match of the night. So they're giving these wrestlers, everyone got between, other than the main event that went 18 minutes, everyone got between the 9 to 13 minute mark. So everyone got time, which was really good to see. This match here, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Chad Gable went 12 minutes and 8 seconds. Gable wiped out Nakamura with a cannonball early on, and then we went to a commercial break not long after the match started. It actually showed us how Nakamura got the advantage after the break, during the break. Nakamura had the edge until Gable came back with a strike and a neck breaker for a 2. Nakamura responded with a kick, a sliding German suplex, and a flying knee strike for a 2. Gable hit a cliffhanger DDT and a diving headbutt for a 2. Cole referenced Gable as Angle at one point. Gable is seen hitting a stalling German suplex here. Cole called the Chaos Theory suplex, but it's more of a dragon suplex the way he hit it. Gable then went for a moonsault, but Nakamura got his feet up and followed this up with a reverse exploder. Gable then countered a Kinshasa into an ankle lock, but Nakamura rolled out of it. Nakamura then tried to shove Gable into an exposed buckle, but Gable managed to hold up and avoid it. However, the hesitation allowed Nakamura to roll him up and pick up the victory. I thought these two worked great together. I thought this match was really good. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, these two guys work really well together. I still don't know who Shinsuke's calling out.
Me neither.
At Survivor Series.
Wait, is it Survivor Series? Or is it somewhere else?
I don't know. Whenever, I don't know.
Because I haven't watched the video yet, but they posted another video after Raw with Shinsuke, and he's like, he's getting impatient or something like that. So I have no clue what this is. It says, hold on, I'm going to find the video really fast. It states, also, I don't know if this is anything, but the Randy Orton photo they used for the War Games match graphic, Orton's got a clean-shaven face. So I don't know if that's anything. It's just saying, hey, Randy Orton don't got his mustache and goatee. But where's this Nakamura video? I saw it earlier. Now I don't see it anymore. They posted something and it said he's tired of waiting or something like that. But regardless, unless it was on Nakamura's page. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere now. That's weird. I don't know if I got. Oh, here it is. Oh, it was on their Instagram. Got it. It says he's tired of waiting. But then still didn't really give any clues, apparently, to who it is.
So wait, is it for Survivor Series or just for like
They
just
haven't
Raw?
said. He just keeps saying, he just keeps giving hints that he's waiting for somebody to come. And now he's getting tired of waiting. So they haven't even said.
Do you know what maybe could be?
Huh.
Okada.
Oh, Lord. I mean, there was that report from Dave Meltzer that they're pushing Nakamura to show Okada that they can push Japanese stars big. So, I don't know. That's an interesting one because I think Okada's contract's not up till like around the same time as Will Ospreay, which would be February. But then what if Okada doesn't come?
Well, don't they have Nakamura like trying to recruit Okada though?
No, I wouldn't say that. What was reported by Meltzer on Friday was that WWE has, quote, renewed interest in Kazuchika Okada, and that the push of Nakamura right now is to show them that Triple H will push Japanese wrestlers in a serious role in a top position and not use them like children as Vince used to. Remember, choppy PP. So that's been the whole thing. Vince never fully would trust to push Japanese wrestlers, and they were always used as comedy, children-like gimmicks, like childlike humor stuff. So,
Kind of like Akira Tozawa when he used that ninja gimmick.
exactly, 100%.
I mean, WWE, they would be stupid not to have interest in Okada, if I'm being completely honest.
That's for sure. But the whole thing is like, what if we don't even know if he's interested? But it's literally
personally,
go for it.
Like personally, I don't see Okada going to WWE. I think he's just too loyal to New Japan.
I mean, it's the one thing he hasn't done. He's worked New Japan. He's worked Impact, TNA. He's worked AEW. He hasn't worked WWE. And he's the same age now that Nakamura was when he made the move. That's the other thing to look at. And that,
And like
the one other thing also is he goes to WWE. It's going to be, he may have to work more, like more matches, but it's going to be it's an easier style to work on your body. Because even if he goes to AEW,
right,
they're still working that hard-hitting style. They're still working that, we got to put out 5-star bangers all the time. WWE, it's like, we at least need matches that appease the crowd. They don't have to be hard-hitting, I'm going to beat myself up every time matches.
And also, like, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm sure, like, before Nakamura signed with WWE, people thought he was too loyal to New Japan. But
Exactly.
But he ended up signing with WWE, so like, I could be wrong.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe I could also. But here's the thing: like, if Okada does go to WWE, does WWE put him straight to main roster, or do they put him in NXT for a little bit?
Well, I say have to, but it could be like a Dragon Lee situation. Put him in NXT very briefly, just to get him acclimated, and then he's boom, main roster. But I don't know, because Okada's the big enough name where it's like, no, he's got to be. Well, I don't know, because I would have said the same thing with Nakamura, and he went into NXT for what, 2 years?
Yeah, Triple H thought he wasn't even ready for main roster.
Yeah, and Nakamura and Okada at this point, they're the same. I would say same level, same talent-wise level. So yeah, I can see them putting Okada in NXT for a little while and then going main roster. I think nowadays, compared to what was that 2016, they see, and maybe it's Triple H, they see these guys coming from other companies as not as much as just, oh, those are smaller indie guys that people don't know about, so we got to get people to know about them in NXT. Now I think Triple H sees the scope of New Japan, sees the scope of guys coming over from AEW, and says, no. Guys now coming in from other companies could potentially work straight on the main roster because of the bigger, wider scope of pro wrestling now than compared to 2016. I mean, AJ went straight to the main roster. Good Brothers went straight to the main roster, but yet, like we said, Nakamura did go to NXT for a little while. Multi-time NXT world champion down there, but
yeah, I was kind of surprised that the Good Brothers went to the main roster. Like, if they went to the main roster, then Red Dragons, they should have went to the main roster, if I'm being completely honest.
Yes and no.
I know it's a different situation though, because they already had AJ on main roster, so you pair him up with AJ.
Correct.
Then you had Red Dragons pair him up with Adam Cole in NXT.
Correct.
It was a different situation, but like those two tag teams, they're basically like on the same level of talent, though.
Yes,
almost.
100%. Honestly, I thought at the time. Honestly, though, I thought at the time Red Dragon was a little better.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of thought like, oh, if they're on the main roster, then Red Dragons, they should be on the main roster as well.
But the one thing you got to look at with Okada coming in is the same thing you have to look at with Will Ospreay going to AEW. Ospreay said that he picked AEW. One of the main reasons for his family. His family still gets to stay in the UK. His fiance doesn't have to leave her family. His stepson doesn't have to get pulled out of school. He could stay there where they live now, go to the same school, be with his friends and all this. And basically, he's going to be on TV every week. And Tony's going to fly him in from the UK every week. And so with WWE, it's like, he would have probably had to move to the States. And that's the thing with Okada. I'm pretty sure, if I've heard correctly before, Okada's wife is like some sort of like celebrity actress or whatever. And so she would have to, if she wants to come with him and he moves to the United States to work for WWE, he would maybe have to give that up. I don't know. Let me look something up.
I know for Shinsuke, the reason why he went to WWE at the time was because he wanted to work more in the States.
Yes. And he actually wanted to bring his family to the United States because he said that it would have been good for his kids. So I'm trying to find out. His wife is an actress and a singer. So she's got her own celebrity-like career in Japan. So that'd be an interesting one if she would give that up or if she would stay there while he comes to America. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a difficult one.
Yeah.
Like I can totally see like Okada like wanting to go to WWE just to work more in America, but at the same time, it's like that's why they have that working relationship with New Japan, so they can have their Japanese wrestlers work like some stuff in America.
Right. Now here's the thing: Justin Toner in the YouTube chat says, "Yeah, because Jade is not in NXT. She is going to go straight to Raw and SmackDown soon." We don't know that. We've actually seen Jade. Here's the thing: we've seen Jade appear on NXT more than the main roster so far. We have not seen Jade on television in 2.5, 3 weeks. And the last time we saw her, she was watching over the NXT Women's Title match. The week before that, where did we see Jade? On a screen in NXT, and she was doing the time is ticking, looking at Lyra Valkyria right before, or actually the week before she challenged Becky. Well, I think Jade's going to start in NXT and immediately or quickly, maybe not immediately, but quickly go after the NXT Women's Championship. I don't think Jade's I did at one point think Jade's going to main roster, but I don't think she is now. I could be completely wrong on this, but I think Jade's going to NXT.
I feel like it for Jade, it'll probably just be like another Dragon Lee situation. Just have her work like very brief, like NXT. Maybe have her like win the title, but like not like lose it to anyone. Be like I wanted to win the NXT title, but there was like more opportunities for me like to do on main roster, so
yeah,
I'll relinquish the belt.
And here's the interesting thing though: it's like we've seen Jade more in NXT. We haven't seen her on television in 2-3 weeks. Have they seen something with her training at the PC that they're like, oh, she ain't as ready as we thought? So I don't know.
I mean, well, if you really think about it that way, like when she was in AEW, she was mainly like wrestling like women who are like very green. So like maybe
she never worked enough women in AEW that can help elevate her skill set. She was working women that were at the same level as her and that were learning at the same time. You can't always have people going in there and working matches with people that are not better than you. Now, granted, you can do that sometimes, but when everybody is on that same level and you're not working people that can help you advance, that's not going to help your growth. That's not going to make you better. That's why I love that they're putting these people down back in NXT. We see Becky go down there for a while. We saw Dolph Ziggler a year ago go down there and help work with the NXT talent that are new. We've seen Baron Corbin down there. I know people give crap to Baron Corbin, but I think Baron Corbin has been extremely, extremely beneficial to the NXT roster. Even Dijak going back down to NXT and helping out and working there. He's somebody that he is really, really good and can help these new young talent learn. So that's what the one advantage WWE has is they didn't just pluck a lot of people off the main roster or the indies and then make that their roster like AEW did. No offense. They got a lot of great wrestlers from the indies, but WWE brings in new people and then has their established talent help, I guess you could say, kind of train them in the ring, on the fly, on TV. So, yeah. AEW just says, go do what you're going to do. It's not that they're helping build, train, and make wrestlers better. It's that they're just like, we got all these different wrestlers. We're going to throw them on TV and let them do what they want to do, whatever.
I know for a lot of wrestlers,
go for
it. I know for a lot of wrestlers, they really like that to where it's like we can still do whatever we want in the ring when we go to like AEW, but at the same time, it's also like pretty dangerous almost.
As we learned with LuFisto in her Fightful interview, that's also a hindrance because she said they worked out a match that they wanted to do beforehand. She was in like a 6-woman tag team match. I don't know did you hear this interview where she talked about this? So she said that she went and worked one show for AEW. I'm not going to get into all the backstage politics with this, where she was supposed to meet with Tony Khan about becoming a producer and never even saw Tony. But they told her, hey, we want you to work a match. She's like, okay. She worked a 6-woman tag team match. They had all these spots planned out, and they were going to do this and that and this and that. And then they go out there, and she's like, all right, so we got the plan, right? And they're like, oh, we'll just call it. Oh, we're just going to do this instead. That's how she made it sound, to where she thought they had a plan, and then you go out there, and they just do other things. That is the one thing with AEW is, I've heard before, I had 2 different indie wrestlers that worked there as an extra say, there's no structure. You think there's a plan, and then there's not. For most of their random Rampage or back in the day, Dark and Dark Elevation matches, there was no structure. And it was just, you throw the guys out there and let them do whatever, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's not good. Just turn another one. Ali was killing it in NXT before they fired him. Yes, Ali was another one that was down there helping out, making other guys look good and helping them improve. That was another one that was tremendous asset down there. So I guess I missed something earlier in the show. Was there an Ivar video package of him challenging Bronson Reed?
Yes, there was.
I missed it. Because all of a sudden I see this Bronson Reed thing. He's like, Ivar, you challenged me earlier. And I'm like, he did? When? I totally missed that. So I don't have notes on that. But he just said, I accept your challenge. We'll fight next week. So yeah, I didn't see the Ivar challenge.
That should be a fun big meaty man slap and meat match.
Heck yeah. That should be actually a really good match. We then got
Ivar's been doing really well in singles matches lately, so.
Yep. We got an Ivar War Games video package. Zayn and Rollins are now in a better mood. They approached Jay. They were all hyped up. Rhodes then approached them and said, you find anybody? And they're like, no. He goes, don't worry about it. I got somebody. They're like, he said yes? And Cody's like, he's in. So, there we go. We then go to our main event. 18 minutes and 45 seconds. Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso, with the winner getting the War Games advantage for their team. McIntyre took control early on and kept that control through a break. But as he cut off Jay's comeback and attempted to chuck him over the announce desk, after a second break, Jay avoided a charge and McIntyre flew into the post. Jay hammered away as the crowd yelled yeet. Also, this Jey Uso, I'm so happy that he got over as big as he has as a babyface single star. When he comes down and he gets on the apron or the ring post and he just does and every single person in that building is doing it with him. That is such an amazing thing to see. I Love it that he does the thing. I don't know what you call it. The head bob and the hands up and down, and everybody's doing it
Like
with
the
him.
hand flap?
What is it called?
The hand flap?
Hand flap. There you go. Yeah, sure. I think it's tremendous. It's awesome. It's great to see this Jey Uso experiment, putting him on his own as a babyface, or not even just as a babyface, but as a singles wrestler, has worked. I always thought Jey was the better of the two brothers anyways. Jimmy always kind of came off as just kind of generic and kind of just, I'm going to do what my brother does. But yeah, no, this has been so good for Jey. I love it. I love it. So he's hammering away at McIntyre as the crowd's yelling yeet for every shot. And then he hits a Samoan drop and gets a 2 off of it. McIntyre countered a clothesline into a neck breaker. McIntyre went for a Claymore, but Jey hit a super kick. Like a weird but cool looking super kick. It was like one of those like jumping, leaping back kind of side super kicks. Jey went to the top and McIntyre crotched him and hit a Future Shock DDT and got the abrupt victory. Match kind of did seem like it just ended. Kind of just came out of nowhere, the finish. I'm like, oh, it's over. There you go. Crowd seemed shocked and surprised. They were like, oh, okay. Not really much of a reaction for the finish. Because like myself, I don't think the crowd expected it to be there. Before we get into the post-match, what do you think of the match itself?
I thought the match was decent. I wouldn't say it was like a great match or anything, but it was a decent match.
I would say it's a very solid Raw main event.
Yes, I agree.
So then Rhea appears at ringside. And she's like the final boss. She's like the ringleader. Finish him. McIntyre goes on and keeps attacking Jey. He's about to put Jey through a table. Then Jey fought back. Judgment Day would show up and swarm Jey Uso before Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn would make their way out to make the save. Judgment Day retreats to the ramp, and Rhodes says, you know what? I'm glad that you guys have the advantage. I'm ecstatic that you guys have the advantage, and we have a 5th member. He goes, this is somebody that I have a legacy with, and the crowd erupts. He's like, this is a man who is an apex predator. Crowd starts chanting, Randy, Randy, Randy. Rhodes then says, we aren't just hearing voices in our heads, because the fans are correct. Rhodes then throws the mic back and stands tall as the crowd continues to chant for Randy Orton. Jey Uso has a look on his face like, oh my damn, this man. Uh-oh. Like he's a little scared that Randy's going to want to beat his ass, because last time we saw Randy Orton, Jey and the Bloodline, unlike with McIntyre, Jey was there to take out Randy Orton. Jey wasn't there at Clash of the Castle, but Jey was there to take out Randy Orton for the last 18 months. So I loved Jey's facial reactions of, you talk about the man that I injured? The man that I basically broke his back? The man that I took out for the last 18? Not crap. So I loved Jey's reaction there. I wonder if there's going to be any tension during the match, any weird interactions, if like they're in the shark cage together or something. I don't know, but I love it. It's Randy Orton. He's back. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. What are your thoughts on the post-match?
I really like this. I really did. Like fans were already like chanting Randy before like Cody even said anything. So that basically shows you like, yeah, everyone knew it was gonna be Randy, but I like the way how like Cody announced it. Like the chance that they are saying they're right.
Yep. He never said his name. But everybody knows. Everybody knows. He even said, he looked at Judgment and he's like, you know who I'm talking about. So this is awesome. Justin Toner in the chat says, I think Randy Orton will help them win War Games for Cody and then RKO Jey afterwards. Maybe, because that would fit with Randy Orton's character, but I don't know.
I mean, Randy's done that a lot in the past, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Now the big question, though, is Randy comes back here for War Games, but then what? Where does he go? If you think about it, his natural storyline is gone. The natural storyline would have been something where he turns on Riddle, but that's gone. Riddle's gone.
I feel like after this, it'd probably just be like him, maybe like I don't know if really mentoring, like Cody would be the right term to help
No.
him like get back to Roman.
I
I
think
mean, he can like play a role.
I think maybe.
I think
Go for it.
I think Randy could definitely like play a role in like helping Cody get back against Roman.
Maybe.
He can play the role of like, hey, like they took me out, so I know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And basically try to like motivate him.
True.
But as far as like who he could actually like feud with, Nakamura maybe.
Or maybe they don't need a feud, and he just says, "You know what? I'm back. I know it's not for 2 more months, but I'm in the Royal Rumble. I'm declaring now." And he just goes on a big win streak leading to the Royal Rumble. They just give him a bunch of wins and small little things to do here and there on Raw leading up to the Royal Rumble. He could be the first person to declare. You can see that.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that as well.
But
I mean,
go for it.
there's not going to be a premium live event in December, so their next thing that they're building to is Royal Rumble.
That's
so
why I said they got like 2 months.
So that's why I say like have them start building up for the Rumble.
What the hell? I know I did the poll. Well, the YouTube community poll never went for some reason. I don't know. We have the other polls though. Because with that is everything we thought of tonight's show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Refresh the polls that we do have here. Let's go to Twitter. Let's go here. So as far as the Twitch poll does go, everybody that voted liked the show. 100% liked Raw. Looking at the Twitter poll, 76% liked the show. 24% thought it was just all right. And nobody disliked the show. That's good to see. Overwhelming success here on the YouTube live poll. 85% liked the show. 13% thought it was just all right. And 2% didn't like it. So good to see that overall everyone liked tonight's Monday Night Raw. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at the Luke Petke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. I'll be back Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. There's Thanksgiving on Thursday. We got SmackDown on Friday and Survivor Series this Saturday. So we got a full slate coming up for you guys. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Oh.